So a couple of months ago, it was released that there is going to be a new Star Wars movie in the year 2020, and this is really cool because we knew every Star Wars movie up until that point, but we didn't know what was coming out after that. So we officially know there's going to be a new Star Wars movie in 2020, but no one knows what it is. It's an opportunity to make something new, something fresh, something the fans actually really want to see. What could it be? I have 8 movies down right here, 8 subjects that I really, really want to see, and fans alike want to see. These things vary in terms of like time zones and in terms of characters, stuff like that. And I personally think this list right here would be amazing. And I do not want to see any more kind of like original trilogy stuff. I do, but not like generic stuff. So I'm gonna start this list off with an Old Republic movie. This one is something that everyone wants to see. There was a petition that's just gone crazy. It's like over 100,000, I think, that we want an Old Republic Netflix series, right? I think an Old Republic movie would be equally as cool, specifically about Revan. Now, Revan is a really, really popular character, and it's a character I've always wanted to kind of see something about that didn't involve the video games, whether that be a TV show, or in this case, a movie. And there's so much to choose from in terms of like stories for Revan. For one, you could just pretty much take his novel, which I really loved, and make a movie out of that. There's a lot of good characters, and I plan to make a video at some point discussing all the different actors I would cast, for that movie, and it would just be amazing. So the first one I have is an Old Republic movie, specifically about Revan, because Revan is an amazing character. If you don't know who Revan is, please go and research him. They need to do something about him, and cast Tom Hiddleston as Revan. Alright, next we have got Boba Fett. Boba Fett is a character that's obviously really, really, really like popular, and I think there was a few rumors about a year ago about them doing this. I'm not sure if it's officially like confirmed. I don't think it is, but this is something that would not surprise me because everyone loves Boba Fett. He's probably a character who's got a lot of interesting stories to tell. In fact, why am I saying probably for? He definitely is. And the thing about Boba Fett, from my personal experience, is that everyone loves him, right? Everyone thinks he's so cool, and I see it, but I don't see it to the extent that he's made out to be. So make me think he's cool. Share these stories with us. Share how cool he is. Tell some stories about Boba Fett. Develop him as a character, outside of the original trilogy. Show us what he was like. Maybe show us, how he became Boba Fett from when he was a kid. Show a flashback to the prequels. Do all this stuff. It would be really, really cool. Show him assassinate some people. Show us the anti-hero that we all love in the most Boba Fett way possible. Next, we have something that is an extremely demanded character to make a movie on. Obi-Wan Kenobi, played by Ewan McGregor. This would be absolutely fantastic. I know I keep saying that it'd be amazing, but it actually would. It would be fantastic because Obi-Wan is a really popular character, and it's someone that has had a massive backstory, massive story, huge character with a lot of potential, and they need ideas. There's an idea. Obi-Wan Kenobi, it would just print money. It would be amazing to see. I want to see him become this kind of old hermit. I want to see him have some adventures in Tatooine and stuff like that, played by Ewan. He'd be like an older man at this point in real life and in the movie, in the same way that Harrison Ford was an older Han Solo and an older Harrison Ford. It would be the same thing. It would be just around the right age, and there's been some speculation in the past as to whether they're going to do this anyway, so they probably will do this, but they definitely should. Next, we have Palpatine and Darth Plagueis. Now, this one, I was kind of like skeptical about putting this because personally I don't know much about Darth Plagueis other than he was Palpatine's master, all that stuff to do with the theories. I've never read the novel, but I hear it's really good. So they could actually just base a movie off of the novel, because the novel was such a huge success and such a huge kind of is admired by a lot of people. They could just do that, and it would be cool. It would be really cool to see Darth Plagueis in the flesh, I guess. Obviously it would be a CGI character because you probably couldn't do it with just makeup, considering he's like a moon, and they could get Andy Serkis to play him. that would be really like weird because Andy Serkis plays Snoke, and Snoke is supposed to be, well, he might be Darth Plagueis. I don't know, but by the time this comes out, we'll know he's Darth Plagueis now anyway. So yeah, it could be Andy Serkis, and they could do a younger Palpatine. I don't know who would play this younger Palpatine, but it could definitely be done. Of course, it could be done, and it could show the like developments of Palpatine's training. It could show Darth Plagueis' death. It could have references to the Old Republic and stuff like that. and maybe even Darth Maul could come back, because I think in the novel, I think Darth Maul is in the novel, so Ray Park could come back as Darth Maul. It'll be a really, really cool kind of Star Wars cult film, something that's not really relevant to the stories, but something that is really, really cool at the same time. Give us some backstory, show us some really cool scenes, some safe training. It'll be awesome. Alright, next I have a clone trooper movie. Now the thing about this that really excites me is that clones, they're not Jedi, they're not Sith, they're not generic, they are soldiers, and a lot of people love the clones. The Clone Wars is obviously a really popular TV show, and I think that Star Wars really explored the kind of extent you can have with how cool clone troopers are. They have their own personalities despite being clones. They have their own personalities, they have their own kind of armor, their own code of ethics. They are really, really cool. We had entire episodes, I think 2-part, 3-part episodes that were just based on the clone troopers. We could turn this into the movies and have no Jedi, no Sith, even though I had one Jedi and Sith in it, and we could just turn this into a really compelling story with a lot of action, and also it would take us back to the prequel times. When I think of this movie, I just think of obviously the amazing action sequences that has potential in it, but I also feel like it would be a really kind of, I know it sounds weird, but like beautiful story in terms of character development and emotions, because they're clones, they're like brothers, and they stick together. Maybe a few characters die, like Republic Commando, just clones together, and a lot of people love the clones. It would be a really good way to tie in, the prequels and stuff like that. It would be really, really cool. Alright, next we have a Knights of Ren movie. This is something I think even J.J. Abrams wanted to do at one point. He thinks that a Knights of Ren movie would be good, and I agree with that. The Knights of Ren have a lot of potential, and we're going to see more from them in the future, particularly probably episode 8, and I think by the time episode 9, finishes, I don't know what's going to happen by then, but as of right now, I think a Knights of Ren movie would be really cool. We could see how they became what they were. It would be an opportunity to bring like Adam Driver back before episode 7, or maybe even after, depends on how he lives and dies, or whatever, and it would be really, really cool. So yeah, that's awesome. Alright, I mentioned earlier about a Boba Fett movie, but what about a Jango Fett movie? That is right, a Jango Fett movie. Can you imagine Jango Fett coming back to our screens in Coruscant bars, assassinating people, just like simulating the the Jango Fett video game? It could be around the time of Attack of the Clones, or even before that. It could potentially show the process of how they made the clone army using Jango's DNA. It could show Camino. It could show him just taking people out, like fulfilling these bounties. It could be really, really cool. And plus, I thought Jango Fett as a character was quite a cool character. Boba Fett was really cool, but also Jango Fett was. You could actually do maybe a Fett trilogy, starting out with Jango Fett. The second one could be Boba Fett Uprising, and the third one could be Boba Fett actually being the bounty hunter, like a Fett trilogy. So I've just made 3 films for Disney right there. You just need to hire me right now. Next, we have a Yoda movie. So a lot of people love Yoda, and obviously with him being 900 years old when he died, he has probably got his fair share of stories, his fair share of things we could see. He's obviously had a lot of fights, a lot of wars, a lot of battles, a lot of emotional probably attachments, and it'd be really cool to see a Yoda film. It would give us a chance to see Frank Oz again. Well, not see Frank Oz, but hear Frank Oz's voice again. That's if they didn't do CGI. That's actually really interesting. Would they do CGI, or would they do puppetry for a full feature film about Yoda? I don't know. Alright, finally we have one of my personal favourites Star Wars characters, Qui-Gon Jinn. I think we need a Qui-Gon Jinn movie because he's such an amazing character, but also I feel like there was not enough expansion of him. There was one movie which he was killed off in, and from what I've heard and seen, he's got a lot of interesting backstory and, just history that would be really cool to see. But the only thing I kind of have about this is who would play a young Qui-Gon Jinn, because could it be Liam Neeson? It could be, because they could just shave him and have shorter hair, and have him not a kid, so he's still like a grown man, but he's not as old as he was in The Phantom Menace. I don't know, but I would love to see this. It would bring Qui-Gon Jinn back, it would bring the prequels back. I love Liam Neeson. It's a win-win for me. Alright guys, they are just some of the ideas I have that would really, really work for a Star Wars movie. I think fans would love to see these, I would love to see these, and with the Boba Fett stuff, that's 3 films right there, so I've essentially given you 11 movies to do. You can do these 11 movies. I've given you a decade of Star Wars films. So yeah, guys, if if you enjoyed this list, please comment it down below. What was your favourite movie on this list? What are your own ideas? Please let me know, guys, because this universe is so huge. There's like an endless amount of things to do, but these things I think are kind of a priority. I might be wrong. There's probably something that's a lot more obvious people want to see, but these things I guess personally are the things I want to see. Get this video out there and ask what your friends think about this. Who do they want to see made the movie on? Let me know. Drop a like if you enjoyed, that extremely helps me out, and subscribe to me for more regular Star Wars videos. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.